Hi, welcome to my video on the reciprocal of a radical. Reciprocal, recall, the reciprocal of x is 1 over x. In other words, x is x over 1, so the reciprocal is turned upside down. Or the reciprocal of 1 over x is x over 1, or just x. So, some examples. If you have the number 2, reciprocal is 1/2 because 2 is 2 over 1, so turn it upside down. 1/3 is 3 over 1, which is just 3. 4/5 is 5 over 4. -6 is 1 over 6. You could say it's 1 over -6, but we'll never leave the negative in the bottom. So it's always, the negative is always on the top, so it's a -1 over 6. Find the reciprocal of each in simplest radical form. So reciprocal of root 3 is 1 over root 3. But we have to rationalize it. So we multiply top and bottom by root 3. And root 3 times root 3 is 3. And 1 times root 3 is root 3. And the reciprocal of 2 root 5 is 1 over 2 root 5. And to rationalize it, you multiply it by root 5. So 1 times root 5 is root 5. And 2 times 1 is 2. Root 5 times root 5 is 5. So that gives me a 10. So root 5 over 10. We cannot cancel the 5 into the 10 because that's an irrational number and that's a rational number. Reciprocal of 1 over root 2 is root 2 over 1, or simply root 2. And the reciprocal of a negative root 6 over 3 is a negative 3 over root 6. But we have to rationalize it, so we multiply by root 6. So that gives us a negative 3 root 6 when we multiply these two. And root 6 times root 6 is 6. And the 3 cancels into the 6. So negative 3 divided by will give me a negative. 3 into 3 goes once. 3 into 6 goes 2. So that's 1 over 2. Or we could go negative 1/2 root 6. So we have to cancel the 3 and the 6 gives me negative 1/2, or that's a 1 understood there. So negative root 6 over 2, or negative 1/2 root 6. Practice. Find the reciprocal of each in simplest radical form. Reciprocal of root 6. Practice means pause the video, work them out, press play to get the answer. It's 1 over root 6. Remember, it's root 6 over 1. Reciprocal is turned upside down. And we have to multiply by root 6, and that gives us root 6 on the top and 6 on the bottom. You cannot cancel. 1 over root 7 reciprocal is root 7 over 1, or simply just root 7. Reciprocal of a negative 10 over 5 is a negative 5 over root 10. Negative root 10 over 5 is a negative 5 over root 10. Multiply top and bottom by root 10. Done. So that's a negative 5 root 10. And root 10 times root 10 is 10. And the 5's cancel. 5 into 5 goes once. 5 into 10 goes 2. So that's a negative root 10 over 2. Or we could have a negative 1/2 root 10. Remember, there's a 1 there. So we can go either one of these. And the reciprocal of root 14 over 7 is 7 over root 14. And we multiply it by conjugate. Root 14, top and bottom. 7 root 14. And root 14 times root 14 is 14. And again, 7 and 7 goes once. 7 and 14 goes 2. So you could have root 14 over 2, or you could have 1 over 2 root 14. Let's continue. And what about the reciprocal of each when they're binomials? So the reciprocal of 1 over, reciprocal of 2 plus root 3 is 1 over 2 plus root 3. And we want want to simplify that, we got to rationalize denominators, so the conjugate is 2 minus root 3, top and bottom. When you multiply 1 by it, you get 2 minus root 3 on top. And you want to work this out fast, you can do FOIL, is your choice. Do FOIL, or you can square these. You can multiply these two, watch. Because it's conjugate, I can say 2 times 2 is 4. Root 3 times root 3 is 3 with a minus. So that gives us 2 minus root 3 over 1. So it's 2 minus root 3. Again, you could do FOIL on this and still come up with a 1. So it's your choice. But notice, you could have wrote down 2 squared minus root 3 squared, like that. But what I did, I did this in my head quickly. I multiplied the first 2 to get 4. I multiplied the last 2 to get 3 with a subtraction sign. So I was doing that in my head. Reciprocal of root 6 minus root 2 is 1 over root 6 minus root 2. The reciprocal is, remember, that's over 1, so the reciprocal is turned upside down. Conjugate is root 6 plus root 2, top and bottom. And that gives us 1 times root 6 is root 6, 1 times root 2 is root 2. And again, you can do FOIL, go ahead, but if you just multiply those two, root 6 times root 6 is 6. Root 2 times root 2 is 2 with a minus in between. So that gives us root 6 plus root 2 over 4. So if you did the FOIL and came up with a 4, perfect. I'm just doing it fast because sometimes when you know what you're doing and you multiply, when you multiply conjugates, you can square each of them. You can multiply the first, multiply the last, and then put a subtraction sign. And it worked perfect. Number 3, the reciprocal is 3 plus root 3 over 6. So we don't have to, because the 6 went to the denominator is already rationalized, so that's the correct answer. Unless you want to do this, go 3 over 6 plus root 3 over 6, which gives me 1/2 plus root 3 over 6. Or you can leave it like that as a fraction, or put the 6. The 6 can be a denominator of both of these, and it simplifies to this if you want, your choice. Number 4, the reciprocal of this one is turn it upside down, so you get 3 plus root 10 all over 4 plus root 10. And that's the reciprocal. You turned it upside down. Remember, the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2 over 1. Reciprocal of x over 4 is 4 over x. The reciprocal of 7 over x plus 1 is x plus 1 over 7. So the reciprocal is, turn them upside down, now we multiply by the conjugate. And it's 4 minus root 10 is the conjugate. So that goes on the top to balance it. And we multiply that out. And we get 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times negative root 10, negative 3 root 10. 4 times positive root 10 is 4 root 10. And root 10 times root 10 is 10. It's a negative. And multiply the first two, 16, minus. Multiply the next two is a 10. And when you simplify that, 12 minus 10 is 2. And plus root 10. Negative 3 root 10 plus 4 root 10 is 1 root 10. There's a 1 right there. And 16 minus 10 is 6. You can leave it like that. Or if you want, you can say that's my right answer. Or you can put the 2 over 6 plus root 10 over 6. And that becomes 1 over 3 plus root 10 over 6. But that's okay right there. So the reciprocal. Turn the fraction upside down. Now, some extra practice here. Practice. Simplify each. Simplify each as a radical. The sum of 5 root 2 and the reciprocal of root 2. So sum means add. So sum means add. So the sum of 5 root 2, add on, the reciprocal of a half. The reciprocal of root 2 is 1 over root 2. So notice sum is add, so I'm adding. So I'm adding 5 root 2 to the reciprocal of root 2. There it is. And I simplify 1 over root 2, multiply top and bottom by root 2. So that's 5 root 2 plus 1 times root 2 is root 2. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. Now I have to add these, so I have a common denominator of 2. So 1 into 2 goes 2. 5 times 2 is 10. And this is root 2 over 2. So I've changed the 5 root 2 to 10 root 2 over 2 because the common denominator is 2. I multiplied. Think of another way. I multiplied both of them by 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5 is root 10. And now they're the same denominator, so it's a 2. And 10 plus 1 is 11 root 2. And note you can't cancel a irrational number and a rational number. So that's the final answer. And number 2, the reciprocal of the product. The reciprocal of the product. So that means I'm doing the reciprocal of root 3 times root 3 plus 1. So that's the reciprocal. Product means, when you say product, you mean multiply. So you're multiplying these, so that's the reciprocal of this product. So let's simplify the product first. So root 3 times root 3 is 3. And root 3 times 1 is root 3. Okay. Now we have to rationalize the denominator. It's a binomial, so the conjugate is 3 minus root 3. We put that on top and bottom. 1 times that won't change. And again, 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. So that gives me 3 minus root 3 over 6. And you can leave it like that, or you can put the 6 below both and make it a half minus root 3 over 6. So you can leave it like that or change it to that, your choice. Number 3, how are you doing with them? Notice I'm practicing the always keep reviewing. I always keep calling back something that I learned earlier on when I did algebra. So the sum of the reciprocal of 2 and 3 plus over 3 plus root 5 and the reciprocal of this one. So the sum again, sum means add. So it's the sum of the reciprocal of this one. So the reciprocal is 3 plus root 5 over 2. Sum is add. And the reciprocal of 2 over 7 plus root 3. So that's 7 plus 3 root 5 over 2. And notice I have both of them have the same denominator, so you write down the denominator and you add. 3 plus 7 is 10, and 1 plus 3 is 4 root 5. And the 2 will go into both of these. You can go 10 divided by 2 plus 4 over 5 divided by 2. So that gives me a 5 plus 2 root 5. So notice the sum is add and the reciprocal of each. They're there, and I'm adding them together, and everything works out nicely. Remember, math works out, even in calculus, it works out really nice. The answers don't need to make things tough. Just make it so you know what you're doing. If you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, the notification bell, because there are more videos coming your way. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, the videos, and the content that's on my YouTube channel. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.